Hi, I'm Commissioner Nancy Jester, and welcome to Nancy Jester Reports for September 26, 2017. So today we met at our regular Board of Commissioners meeting, and this has actually been 2 weeks since I've last reported to you. So last week on the 19th, we also met as a committee of the whole. So I'm going to encapsulate various things that we've covered in both of those meetings over the last 2 weeks, and also the various committee meetings that we have. Just want to give you some highlights there. So I'll start with today. Today, the Board of Commissioners did pass the resolution so that we will have the SPLOST referendum on the ballot this November. That's November 7th, Tuesday, November 7th. So the SPLOST referendum, if approved, would take the county sales tax from 7 to 8 cents on the dollar. So it passed with, we had one Commissioner absent, and it passed then 5-1. I was the one against it. It is a tax increase. I have concerns about the tax increase relative to some of our neighbors and their sales tax at 6 cents, and we're going to be at 8. That being the case, there are some real pros with doing the SPLOST sales tax. I prefer consumption taxes to property taxes, so from that standpoint, I think it could be effective. I do have concerns about the county's ability to manage the SPLOST, both from the infrastructure side to the financial management side. We still do not have a permanent CFO, and we are coming up on 2 years of not having a CFO. So I'm very concerned about that with regards to your tax dollars. I also think we collect a lot of your tax dollars. But again, this consumption tax is a way to help us deal with some of the real infrastructure issues we do have. So, and I'm not unsympathetic to those. We have real issues with our public safety facilities that need to be improved. Those are on the SPLOST list. We have real issues with the backlog of roads that need to be repaved. So this will be on the ballot, and it will be up for the people to decide. That being the case, this thick document here is the referendum language, and it also includes all the intergovernmental agreements with the cities excuse me, and their lists of projects. So I'm going to be making this available on a number of different platforms. So look out in my newsletter and my website and other places for ways you can access this document, so you can see all the project lists from all the cities and the unincorporated areas, and the way it's going to be distributed. One interesting thing to note: several cities with it, not all, I think we have 13 cities in the county, but several cities are going to, if this passes, potentially take out general obligation bonds in to front load their SPLOST projects. But this is the interesting thing. So the SPLOST vote is county-wide, obviously, so it's up or down on the county as a whole. But each individual city that wants to take out a GO bond, a general obligation bond, it will have to pass their specific city by 50+1 to be able to incur that debt. So it's possible you could get a county-wide passage, but one city or another city doesn't have 50+1 within their city, and therefore they wouldn't be able to take on the debt. So that's kind of an interesting little caveat there. So stay tuned for more of that. I mean, that'll be interesting as the when the referendum comes up. So so that's something we did today. We also named one thing that was really nice that I think we did today. We named the adoption center at the new animal shelter in the honor of Susan Nugent, who has worked tirelessly on behalf of animal rights and making sure that we had, and she advocated to make sure we had a new shelter for the animals, because that was also one of the county infrastructure pieces that was sadly lacking, and it's a mandated service that the county provides. So congratulations to her, and it was great to see her today. Last week we had some fairly interesting committee reports. We went over the CAFR, we call it, which is a Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for DeKalb County. The good news is that while we weren't 100% on time with this, we were light years ahead of where we were last year with this because of the work we did put in 2016 to get reconciling things timely. So we were almost right on time, a little delayed, but again, much better than last year. We had the auditors come and go over the report with us. We don't have all their findings yet. They're still working on their audit report, but we finished all our parts, so I'm looking forward to seeing their findings. I understand we will have some findings, which of course is something I'm not happy about, but we will have fewer findings than we had last year, according to our auditors. So we're going in the right direction, and I'm looking forward to having a 2017 year audited in 2018 that is on time and hopefully without any findings at all. So that will be good. We also went over the KPMG audit for the water metering and billing issue. And obviously, this is, an issue that has come to plague the system with all the inaccuracies and complications with water billing. This was very helpful. I believe this document, I'm not sure if it's already on the website, we'll certainly make sure it gets there and put it out so you can see the what KPMG identified as the problems. One of the big ones, and I was glad to see they validated my concern, was that you had a situation where you don't have one person owning the governance and management of billing. Watershed is one thing, but the billing and the management of all the data is totally separate under the finance department, and that separation is just inherently risky and has caused some of the problems. And it was one of the key contributing factors. In fact, it was the first one they told us. So there are many other factors, business process factors, manual data manipulation factors, all kinds of inefficiencies. And so they went through and looked at where the errors were happening and recommended some changes. So we'll make sure to put this out there so you can see this. Also, this Thursday, the new group that will be a Citizens Advisory Group for water billing will be having their kickoff meeting. So I look forward to their insights and their bringing their skill sets and their just their approach to accountability for DeKalb County as we fix this water billing problem. Let's see. Seems like I had something else. Oh, yes. Last thing, we had received a letter from the EPA to report some answers to questions that they had based on our sewer overflows, our sanitary sewer overflows or sewer spills. And so we were required to provide that answer within 30 days. It's called a Section 308 letter. That answer was made last week, I believe on Thursday, and this is a copy of it. I'm in the process of reviewing this letter and all this oodles of documents that we have in electronic form that we sent the EPA. I've got questions for the administration on some of these answers. So I look forward to discussing this more with you in the future, and also hearing back from the EPA and what they intend to do with our answers and what any of the implications are. So I'll end there. I have a zoning meeting in just a little bit that I'm going to go to. So that's catching you up from September 19th through today, September 26th, 2 meetings, a bunch of committee meetings, lots of important work done with SPLOST and audits and so on. So stay tuned, and I will be back and report next week on Nancy Jester Reports.